There we go. That's better. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like there was a bit of an issue with the camera there. Good afternoon, and welcome back to howtotrade.com, and welcome back to NFP Live. We're going to be covering the non-farm payrolls decision live for you, and also having a look at some live trading opportunities as well. So we're going to be talking about the figures that are coming out, what's happened this week. Everything that really you need to know about NFP is right here. So if you do have any questions, then feel free to pop up in the chat room. I can see some people who have popped up already, and that's good to see you. As well, let me know what your predictions are for NFP after we have a look at the predictions and stuff. I'll be interested to see what your guys' take is on that. So hello to you, Liam. Good to see you. Martin174, Bobby Australian. Laza, hello to you. And Jory on the YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well, and thank you very much for the message. So it's been some week in the markets, really. We've had big tech earnings, US GDP, US Core PCE, Bank of Japan, the UK budget. There's probably more that I've forgotten as well. And it's we end the week really with a bit of a bang. No better place to be for NFP than right here. So good to see you as well, Bobby. Thank you very much for the message, and I hope you are doing well. Hello to you, golfer. I can see you on the How to Trade channel as well. Matt, hello. Where is gold going? Where is it going? We'll have a look at gold in a bit of detail as well. Let's just have a quick look then at just a couple of things that we've... And then let's just go straight into the forecast, because I came on a bit late because of the camera issue. So we'll go straight into the forecast, and we'll talk about some of the earnings and stuff after. Mighty Davidson, hello. Good to see you, and I hope you're doing well. And thank you very much for the message on YouTube, and to all of you on our X channel as well. Hello to you, and I hope you are looking forward to this NFP print that we have coming out. So let's just have a quick look, first of all, at some of the predictions that we're expecting. So let me just head over to the economic calendar, and we can see the non-farm employment change, 254,000 was the previous, and this time around we're expecting 106,000, which is quite a significant fall off from what we had previously. So I'm interested to see if that materializes. That's going to be a big story if it does. The unemployment rate is expected to remain unchanged at 4.1%, so slight improvement than what we saw in August, but really 4.1%, around that 4% level is something we've become expected. And the average hourly earnings are expected to fall to 0.3%. So they're the three figures that really we need to be, focusing on. Now, the most important figure that we need to be focusing on is the non-farm employment change. And then probably we need to be looking at the unemployment rate, then probably the average hourly earnings. But I think the one that's going to cause all the volatility, it normally does, is this non-farm employment change. If we look at previously, you can see that there's been a lot of occasions where we've had revisions on the previous figure as well, and I think it's something that people forget about how important that actually is. Now, previously we actually had quite a strong NFP. We had 254,000, and then the previous figure was also revised upwards to 159,000. So I would say that in the trajectory that we were going in from June to September, that 254,000 was a bit of an outlier. It was a bit of a surprise to the upside. 106,000. What do I think about that? I think it's quite low, actually. It wouldn't surprise me if the figure is higher than 106,000. So if I had to put my sort of neck on the line, I would say somewhere in around the 150,000 mark, which is, I'm sort of looking at the data we've had over the past month, and the economic data has been quite strong. The labour market is strong in the US, it's robust. So I imagine we could see a figure around the 150,000 mark. So I'm going to go and say that we're going to see 145,000. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. What's your prediction for the non-farm employment change? Mine's 145,000. What do you think? Now, in terms of how that moves the goalpost for the interest rate decision, I can't imagine something around 140, 150,000 is going to do a great deal. If we get a figure below 100,000, the expectation at the moment is a 93% chance that the Federal Reserve are going to cut by 25 basis points in the next meeting. If we got a figure below 100 basis point, below 100,000, we'll see some more percentages headed over towards this figure here, which is the 50 basis point rate cut. If we see a figure 150 or 200 or like a stronger figure, then I imagine that it's going to be pretty nailed on that we get a more of a hawkish view, and therefore that will sort of be a 25 basis points, or even maybe any chance of them holding rates. Probably not, but we'll see. Now, in terms of gold prices, let's have a look at some analysis now, because we have got 7 minutes to go until the release. Before I do that, let me just quickly see if anyone's dropped in any predictions on there. No one's dropped any in there at the moment. Let me know what you think, where you think this is going to be. I'm interested to see what people think. Now, if you are looking to trade with a broker as well, we have got a great offer on at the moment, where if you deposit into Switch Markets, then they will double your deposit up to 5,000 in credit. So if you deposit 2,500, then you'll get 2,500 in credit. Up to 5,000 you can do that with. So I recommend that you guys check that out at switchmarkets.com, or you can message me in the trading room at howtotrade.com, and I can point you in the right direction of that as well. Heading over to the charts, heading over to the price action and what we see currently in gold, and that is really, if we look at the hourly time frame, which I'm on at the moment, yesterday was quite a significant sell-off, wasn't it? Now, I imagine this is a bit of profit taking because we had the month-end close and we've now started a new month today. And I imagine there was a bit of profit taking on that. So I wouldn't read too much into it. What I would say as well is when you look at the sort of 4-hour structure, the daily structure, it's all still very bullish at the moment. The hourly time frame, well, you can see what I'm looking at the moment. Yesterday on the stream, if you were on the stream yesterday, you will notice that I said that this was a demand zone and that potentially this was a demand zone as well. But what we had are equal lows here and equal lows here. And for me, equal lows are always a key liquidity target, liquidity area. And so that's why when I marked a potential buy opportunity for this market, I said be careful buying it from this demand zone and having your stop loss here, because there are equal lows below, and that's key liquidity. What you can see that happened is the market went straight through this demand zone or order block and this order block, and actually come and grab the liquidity at this consolidation and this one, traded into an imbalance area, and has now reacted a little bit. If this is going to be the bottom for gold for now, and we get a slightly weaker NFP print, half of what we saw last month, 120,000, 100,000 or less, then we're probably going to see gold sort of retrace all the losses we had from yesterday. And I could see then a move up to 2772, and then from then we really need to be looking at, can we get gold up to these triple highs, key liquidity at 2790, and I think even maybe 2800. So I've got my eyes on that today. If we get a really strong NFP print and a strong set of statistics as a whole, it wouldn't surprise me if the market came and closed below yesterday's low, and we may even then be seeing a deeper retracement down towards 2700. So it's a really important print we have coming out today. Okay, are there any other markets anyone wants me to have a look at? Hello to you, Hope. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Scotty T, afternoon. Both coaches are streaming. Lovely. Yeah, me and Shane are both streaming. We are NFP ready, that's for sure. We're really excited for this one. It's such a big one as well, because you've got elections next week, and then you've also got the Federal Reserve interest rate decision in November as well. Is it early November, I think, as well, isn't it? Yeah, 7th of November. So that's coming up really soon as well next week. So it's a big, big moment. Okay. The other markets which will likely see a lot of volatility off the back of this, not just gold, even though gold is the popular one that everyone likes to look at, is the likes of the dollar and the dollar related pairs, and also the stock market as well. We'll talk a little bit more about the stock market after the print comes out, because we see that we've had a little bit of a sell-off in stocks really over the last 24 hours, quite a significant one actually. You can see that in the S&P 500, in the US 30, and also in the NASDAQ as well, which really suffered yesterday. So we'll talk a little bit more about that after the print comes out. But generally speaking, typical NFP style price action where there isn't really much clear direction. What I would say to that is if we get a much weaker figure today, then that will sort of heighten recessionary fears. We're probably likely to then see a bit of a continued sell-off in the stock market. If the figure comes in nice and strong, then that will show, US resilience, economic resilience, and therefore we'd likely see the stock market rally across the board. And the dollar index is pretty clear. A strong NFP print, we're looking at stronger dollar. A weaker NFP print, and we're looking at weaker dollar. So the dollar's been on a bit of a tear up recently, as you can see. We pretty much called that bottom as well. We saw that, look. We pretty much called that, so I'm going to remove those drawings. We saw some clear RSI divergence down there quite a few weeks ago. So I'm interested to see what happens here on the dollar, because this to me just looks like a bit of a pause to potentially go higher. That's what it looks like to me, and we'll see if that comes in. How long have we got till that release comes out? We have got 1 minute to go. So any other last minute questions or last minute predictions, let me know what you think in the comments section or message me privately. Hello to you, Jerry92. It's good to see you. Not seen you on the streams for a couple of weeks. It's very good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Golfer is hoping that gold catches a rocket. He's risk-free at the moment, which is the best thing to be, by the way. If you are in a trade heading into this, then make sure you are risk-free. I'm going to go on the gold 1 minute chart now, and we're going to see what happens. If anyone does get the release, let me know. Here we go. Good luck, everybody, to those trading today. 22 seconds. Got to keep an eye on some of my trades as well. Okay. Here we go, guys. We're seeing gold's spike higher. Here we go. Here we go. Big spike higher on gold off the back of the release. Is that going to continue? What figure did we get? Has anyone got it? $12. Is that a misprint? 12? 12,000? Oh wow. That is huge. I cannot imagine the stock market's going to like that at all. 12,000. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm actually a little bit shocked. 4.1% on the unemployment, 0.4%, 12,000 jobs added. That is the lowest figure that we've seen since January the 8th, 2021. That's the worst figure we've seen. Can someone tell me if that's a misprint or if that's actually what it is? 28, 12, 28. Doesn't matter, does it? What is going on? That is absolutely not what you want heading into election season. Should message Shane, really. Try and get him on the stream as well. I don't think we'll be able to do that, but that is incredible. So I imagine that, yeah, I mean, there's no surprise there that we're seeing the dollar sell off as a result of that. It's one of those prints where that's changed the ballpark for a lot of things. If I refresh this page on the interest rate decision page, has that percentage changed? Because it should have. A little bit, 91%. They still think the Fed are going to cut by 25 basis points, but that's a significantly lower print than what was expected. And is the tide turning? Are we now actually going to start seeing? I'm not trying to say, but from one print that means we're going to get a recession or anything like that. But the one thing that was holding everything up was this labour market, which has continued to surprise to the upside. That is a big shift in the momentum of the labour market. Is it a one-off? That will be the question. Is it a one-off or not? We shall see. But that is a, what do you see in the stock market rise as a result of that? But just be very careful. I'm not surprised that it's rising off the back of it, because that's technically dovish. But I'm telling you, in the medium term, that's not a great thing. It might be some short-term stock market strength, but that is not the print that the Federal Reserve would have wanted to see, that's for sure. Wow. What's happening to gold as a result of that? I suppose that the markets are probably just a little bit. So it's sort of, we are making a move higher on gold. It's not been, I don't think we've seen the move yet. USD CAD is selling off dramatically. You can see that the best moves really have been in the likes of cable, etc. But yeah, okay. What does everyone think about that? Getting some messages come through. Hello to you, Boss Joe. Good to see you. Thank you for doing well. I'm glad you are doing well, Jerry. It's good to see you. You would think that that's a... you're right, Bryn. That's a stocks down, gold up play. You would think that. Yes, exactly. That's what I was about to say. In the short term, we might not actually get that, because I think what the markets will think is, oh my God, dovish. We're going to potentially see 50 basis points rates of cut, 50 basis point cuts. I'm getting too excited. But what we need to realise is that's just one figure from 1 month. So it doesn't necessarily mean there's a recession coming, but it could be the start of a weakening in the... John says it plays right into Trump's lap, I suppose. Yeah, he could be right. You could be right. Shane will probably tell me that the books are fudged in a way, but we'll see. Yeah, that's crazy. I imagine it's going to be quite difficult to trade this today, because I think what we need to do is wait for the markets to settle. But that really does potentially change the ballpark, or change the narrative really over the next couple of weeks. I wonder what we're going to see from now. That's going to be really, really interesting. Okay, so just a quick note as well. We did have, it's not just NFP which is driving the markets. We do have other things driving the markets as well, such as the big tech earnings this week. The big tech earnings have been very, very strong, but the market reaction has been the opposite. Why? I'm not sure. What I think's happened is that there's such a high expectation now for these big firms that even when they report record revenue now, the slightest little negative in any sort of form of forward guidance is causing people to sort of get out and take profits on this. So Apple sales rose 6%. Companies seeing early iPhone 16 demand quite positive. You can see all their figures here as well. Earnings per share was a beat. The revenue was a beat. And 4.6, yeah. So that was all good. And then same with Microsoft as well. Record earnings, but slipped to its worst day in years. So these markets are quite vulnerable at the moment to any negative news, and that's why I just can't see a situation where this is positive in the long term for the stock markets. But we may see some short-term buying today. So that's sort of the why I'm going to sort of sit back and say, okay, let's let this play out, and then next week we can try and really catch on to some good moves, I think, anyway. Same with gold. I imagine that is generally bullish for gold. You can see it starting to make a move towards the targets that I put in at 2770, basically filling this imbalance. It wouldn't surprise me if we get that today, to be honest. Ryan says only 12k NFP, laughable. Yeah, you're not wrong. Scotty T, what is going on? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to let the price sort of digest that news. Be very careful trading this now, because I imagine it's going to be quite whipsawy, and maybe not any real clear direction as traders sort of digest what this really means for the future. But next week is going to be some really good trading opportunities. Now, always the week after NFP, typically, especially if it's a decisive one like this, tends to be a really good week to trade. So I'll be back on Monday for the top events and opportunities of the week at 10 o'clock British Standard Time. Make sure you tune into that if you want all the lowdown. And thank you very much to those who have tuned in today. Good luck to those who are trading. I will not be. I'll be sitting out and sort of looking at my live trades for today. Trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you all very shortly. Cheers.